asked me to think about how they would call me and how they would search for me, to add not just helping coaches and consultants, this, but like, who am I? So I was thinking, which resonates with me, personal branding, like personal branding strategies, because that is actually like really, really connected to what I do, not just offers, but like, okay, who are you? Who is that ideal client, and how are you positioning yourself towards that person?
Yeah.
So yeah, and he
That's
was
important.
really resonating with procrastination. Like when I talked like that I was working with procrastination before, he was like, "Oh, yes, yes. Ooh, I know a lot of people who would need that."
Yeah, it's mm, uh this is my personal opinion. I prefer positioning than personal branding,
Mm-hmm.
because personal
Uh-huh.
branding is so soft. It's so soft. Like, work on your personal branding. It's like,
Yes, yes. What does
but
that even
positioning
mean?
is, you need to position yourself so people, when you say what you do, will listen. Something
Yes.
like that. It makes sense. Yeah, but it's all related, and you can add procrastination. I don't think, and we talked about this at the beginning. I
I
don't think
wouldn't
that.
add it to like too much. Maybe I test it.
I would add it, but as a sign of a pain.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
not getting results? Are you frustrated because you're getting leads and doing work, and that even leads to procrastination because you have
Mm-hmm.
no clarity on what to do?
Yes.
It's something.
No,
Okay.
yes, yes. I get it. Love it. Okay. I think that's it. I need to restructure now that and just put it out
Yeah, yeah.
today.
I think you got it too. So just go
Yes.
and rewrite it and resubmit it, and we'll take a look. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Perfect. Any other questions?
No, no, that's it.
Okay. I'm gonna
Thank
go
you.
with Mary Claire and then Liz. So Mary Claire, you were mentioning you're stuck in Belgium.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
What was the question?
Just give me an update of where you are right now, and what are you
Okay.
focusing on. Just give me a wrap up.
Yep. So I'm working on aligning everything with your feedback in the for the profile. So I went through everything. Where have a question. Let me see. So in number 3. How did you or your clients solve these problems and obstacles? You're telling me they don't need me to tidy their kitchen, which is true. So we identify actually the habits, the conditions that are leading them into an unhealthy lifestyle. And then you continue, and I'm not sure. Well, you're saying rather than going on a diet or whatever, or talking about food, it's more important, and that's where I was wondering in which section does that come? Does it still come in the first section? Is that in the number 4 section? What do you help your clients with?
Yeah,
So that's what I was wondering.
I have yeah. First question. You remember in the feedback I asked you is, you want to be 100% open that you help people with raw plant-based diet,
Yeah, yeah.
or you want to just not tell it upfront and then stay with your approach? What do you think about that?
Well, my first approach was that I was always upfront, so it was clear from the start. Just to avoid that, what you were saying, that they wouldn't come say, tell me afterwards. Well, we didn't know it was about raw plant food. So then after a while, I noticed it was scaring a lot of people off, which is normal. It's not that obvious. So I stopped talking about that in my introductions. And actually, that helped me to get more calls booked. Of course, then it's the problem. Now I have to tell them, to before I sign them up. Um, that is a 50-50 game, right? There are a lot of people who will back up, back out at that moment when I tell them, oh no, I can't do that, it's too hard, blah blah. The other 50% are cool with it. They say, well, I did it in the past and so on. So I'm still going back and forward, like, should I tell them up front or not? Maybe it depends on the kind of clients I'm working with, because I'm focusing on six-figure, multi-six-figure business people.
Yeah.
And they seem to have more problem with the fact that it's raw. They don't have a problem with the fact that it's plant-based. So I could go in and choose a nice middle road there and talk about plant food, but not about the fact that it's raw or
Okay.
mostly
It's
raw.
okay. Yeah. It's what my suggestion would be. It's you can use that as a filter. And the way
Yes.
that I explain is a filter. If you want to be 100%, I won't say transparent because I'm not saying that if you don't say it's plant, it's not transparent, but upfront about it's raw plant-based diet, what I do, and this and everything. If you say it up front, you will have less leads and less conversations and calls. But
Yes.
the ones that you will have are more qualified and easier sells. We
Yes.
could say that.
Yeah.
But maybe it's going to throw off a lot of people that need your services, that could work with you and need to work with you, but maybe that scares them off. So perhaps in the about me section, I would suggest just focusing on the results they get by following your process and not mentioning the specifics. I'm like, so you basically what you do is what I showed Milena before from point A to point B. You just describe the situation. Are you a six-figure business owner and you don't have time and are eating out of a vending machine and so on? And what you want is more energy, more vitality, finish work, and then have enough energy to live a life, you know? I can help. Our process is proven to increase by 30% vitality or energy from our clients, so on, so on, so on. We do a combination of habit changing, mindset, coaching, diet, and exercise. I'm not sure if that's what you do, but you get the hang of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I get hang.
You still haven't said that your process, you know. So we even have a process to transition you into your current habits, so you don't feel like shock from starting this approach and my method. And we have a plan so you can slowly grasp the habits and the new process or methods that our clients follow you
Yeah.
know so just by saying that, it's much less intimidating. And
Yes.
since you focus on the pains and the results, you don't have to talk about your process much.
Yeah.
And this works well for everybody actually, because people are not really concerned about the process in the first place.
Yeah.
And why? Because don't tell me about your process. I'm not ready to listen to it. In this, if you look and you do a bit of research, if you look into the buyer's journey, it's a marketing principle and approach. Actually, describing the process is comes after that. Once you start sharing content or optimizing your LinkedIn profile in this way, what you're gonna get is, wow, this is me. You just described myself. I'm eating out of a vending machine, and I do want more energy. Marie Claire, what's your process? How does it work? Then
Yes.
that you've captivated their attention, you can say, well, let me tell you. We do a combination of mindset. We evaluate your habits, and then we start introducing some small changes in your diet at first, and we start measuring progress. And based on your energy levels and your current emotional well-being and overall physical and mental well-being, we start customizing the plan in order to increase that gradually. Okay, so there's diet involved. Yes, we start introducing some raw plant diet stuff. You can say it that way. That
Yeah.
has several benefits. You keep all the nutrients from the food, and it's very easy to prepare. So we know you're a businesswoman and you don't have time. So this is a perfect solution. And you can have a small snacks throughout the day as you advance into this diet. So the first stage is you just preparing small snacks here and there, and we give you a timeline, and we give you a process and a go-to plan, so you stick to it. Once so you can do it by phases. Is this making sense?
Yes, makes sense.
You know,
Good.
so
Because
so
that's usually the issue, like transitioning to the fact how they will be eating, and then the objections come in, of course.
exactly. So you can overcome all these objections, but as you explain it this way, it's, for example, I have some clients who are gym owners, and a lot of them target 40-year-olds and above. And one of the biggest fears that a 50-year-old, maybe 55, 60-year-olds, they think of the gym and training as lifting weights with 25-year-olds who are super, super toned and all well defined and everything. And it's intimidating. So you have to also prepare that, and you also have to say, listen, probably the first month working with us, it's just getting you in shape so you don't get injured. And
Yeah.
when people hear that, it's like, it's like, okay, they understand my fears, they understand my real situation. I don't want to gain 2 kilos in muscle in the first 3 months. I just want to stay in shape and make sure that my back doesn't hurt and my knees don't hurt. So you can take the same approach here, and you can say, you know
Yeah.
what, we have a gradual plan where we can gradually transition, and it's customized for you in order to increase those energy levels.
Yeah.
Because it's people know how to improve their health. They know that to lose weight you have to eat less calories and do exercise and eat healthier. And people know that smoking is bad for you, so they know this. What they need help with is the support in order to do it. So the same principle applies to what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was something that came clearly out of all the interviews I did. It was they don't have the structure, they don't have a plan, they're just all over the place, they just grab and go because they're not prepared. So that's why I shifted that headline to include the fact that I would create a go-to plan, simple, streamlined structure, just to like give them in the first introduction what they want, what they're looking for, and then I can add to that what they really need, of course, once we start working. Yeah.
Okay. So try that approach, and just test it out. Optimize the profile in this sense.
Yeah.
And let's say that you start having connections and talking to people and having calls, and out of 50 calls initially, 40 say, hey, but you didn't say this was plant-based. I feel it's, I thought you should have said it from the start. Okay, if that's the case, you just transition and you say, you change it.
Yeah. No, that's clear. So I will review. I mean, put down the new text in there, and then have it uploaded for your review. And then once you give the green light, I can update my profile.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have any feedback on the banner that I created? Because I had several versions in there. I think it was Liz who said I like the one with golden spoon best. And
I took a look.
yeah,
Not had a personal. I didn't like the one with the light bulb.
with the light bulb. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that
The other
was
one,
yeah.
it
Okay.
was personal, no preference, personal. You can pick anyone, and I think it would work well. So just except for the light bulb one,
Yeah. Okay.
you can pick any. Okay.
Okay. Good. I'll move on with that feedback. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Cool.
Yep. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay. So Liz, on to you now. I saw that you uploaded the worksheet with your new ideal clients. Haven't had the chance to review it. Will do so probably yes today. But let me know How's everything? And hello, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I uploaded all those yesterday and updated them, and then I'm working on module 4 now,
Okay,
today. So
perfect.
I just got started on that a little bit late last night, so I haven't even I've updated my profile some, but that's where I'm at.
Got it. Do you want me to? I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to be honest with you. But do you want
That's
me to
okay.
have a look now and just give you as we right now on the spot, take a look at it?
Whatever you prefer. You can do it later or now. Either way.
No, we can do it now. I think so you don't
Okay.
have me waiting, and we have gone through everybody else. So let me just share my screen.
Okay.
I have to say it's been a pretty weird week here in
I
Spain. If
know.
you've
We have a
seen
client in Spain and Madrid too. They were supposed to fly to the US for a conference to meet me at on Wednesday, but they booked a countryside house and they're leaving this morning to get out of Madrid.
yeah, yeah,
Are you
it's
staying in the city or are you gonna leave with your
yeah. Well,
family?
no, we actually we had a flight to the Canary Islands,
Uh-huh.
but we canceled it because we thought it was more responsible to stay here rather than flying and everything.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to tell you guys because I want to freak you out. But if you're curious, just send me a message and I'll tell you how things are here. Because probably it's I don't know. If you're curious, just send me a message. I'll tell you. But it's pretty serious.
Tell us. We all want to know. I know. I talked to our clients in Spain and they shared a little bit, but
Well,
out here in San
basically,
Diego, I mean, we don't even have as many cases as you guys or even in Italy. However, like all of our local churches,
yeah,
they are all live streaming and not meeting, which is crazy for like churches to not be meeting in
yeah,
San Diego when we only have one case. Like they're
yeah.
being
It's
overly cautious here.
the thing is what you've seen in Italy. Basically, there is 10 days separation from what's going on in Italy and what's going on in Spain.
Yeah.
So for example, tomorrow it's very likely that all businesses in Spain will close down. And when I
Yeah.
mean all businesses, it's all businesses except for supermarkets and pharmacies.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
and
I'm praying for you guys out there. It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
and,
going
and
on.
it's the economy is I don't even know what's going to happen with the economy. But the thing is serious that it's spreading
Mm-hmm.
so fast that hospitals are not being able to keep up.
Mm,
So I don't know about the rest of the countries, but for example, the UK is going to happen, France is going to happen, Germany
mm-hmm.
probably is going to happen. The US, I have no idea. I have no idea. And Croatia, yeah, it might, but maybe Croatia not being such a travel a country people travel to so much, maybe it might. I don't know, but once you see the thing escalating, take it serious, guys, because
I-
it's
in Croatia, it's coming. Like like we already got like, oh, from next week, like schools are closing, but I think that everything is going to close. And the same as in Spain, it's only going to be like food markets
yeah,
and hospitals. So like I'm like really, really freaking out, just because it's the whole world. So it's like everybody's fucked in
yeah.
a way,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. So
So
yeah,
what's the real issue? For example, it won't kill any of us. That's
yes.
I'm not scared about that. But the people who are at risk, which are old people or people who have medical conditions, those are at risk, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
fact. That's a fact.
Yes.
So if you have old people, just have to tell them, to stay at home and take precautions. And something that has happened in Spain certainly is that a week ago and 10 days ago and 2 weeks ago, people thought it was kind of a joke. And,
Mm-hmm.
this won't hit here. This, we're strong.
Mm-hmm.
This won't be that bad. Actually, so it's not true. If you
It's
see
same
that,
here. Like, I mean, it's not like people are scared, but it's like it's in your face. So it's like totally possible that like the state just shuts down everything. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like we are entrepreneurs and we are this and that. And actually, like, how much power do we really have? So it's like really interesting situation that is
Yep.
happening.
So I mean, as business owners and entrepreneurs and everything, there's a couple of lessons to be learned here.
Mhm.
You need a cash reserve and you need a cash
Hmm.
emergency fund in your business to last at least 3 months minimum.
Yes.
And if you don't have one now, it's it's gonna be hard, you know. So cash reserve is hard. Once this is over, please guys do not go on about business thinking that this is not this. It's just one more thing, and if it's not this, it's gonna be another thing. It's gonna be a recession. So cash reserve is super important. And after that, uh, more than one stream of income is also super important. Super important. If you just rely on and you have all your eggs in one basket, so you might do events and you might have online clients and you might have do retreats or things like that, uh, or you might work in different sectors. So that's gonna diversify. If you have a problem somewhere, it's you have other places to rely on. So yeah, you can make hand sanitizers and sell those. Yeah. So, anyways, we went a bit off the subject. So, Liz, going back to you.
Yes.
Um, Now you are focusing on Sarah.
Family-owned businesses.
Okay, you tell me about it. Actually, I'm reading as you say, but I want you to tell me about it.
Um, yeah, so I mean, most of it's the same. I mean, I did go through and tweak things, but mostly all of it is the same as before. There wasn't a lot that I changed.
Okay.
Um, but to be able to do a LinkedIn search and find a specific niche over on LinkedIn, the keyword is family owned business, which a lot of family owned businesses it ends up being a local business too, which that's typically who we work with.
Okay.
Um, and what is the weird thing now, because I was doing my research calls again, and like what you say, the cash flow, like I'm just so thankful. Like we've been really strict making sure that we have the reserves in our business, because we're seeing with our clients who doesn't have that. And we're getting phone calls and clients wanting to pause and like they're freaking out. And so to do these research calls now, I think what people are sharing with me is like more skewed. I don't know. But what I've just learned from doing the calls is more people, everyone 100% that I've talked to is all focused on sales, and they are wanting to have an additional stream of revenue coming in through their website, which is interesting. So that is something. So far with the people I've talked to, we've already built them all websites. They're
Yeah.
website clients and everything. So we already did that. And they also want to update their website to have a second stream of revenue coming through their website. So no
Absolutely.
one said they want to get more book calls or stuff like that. And so I think it's kind of what you share with Melena. It's like they think they need one thing, which is more sales, and they need another product line or service on their website. But what they really need is they need to get it dialed in for their current product. And then, yeah, we can add another one after we get that
Yeah.
dialed in.
In your case, family-owned businesses, they have an idea that marketing is important. They've heard about social media. They've talked about SEO. They have that knowledge. They've done something, but not enough.
Right.
So with the whole situation, unfortunately, once like the real situation is over, you will have conversations with your clients saying, you know what, when your sales went down and you were looking for more sales, now you have the perfect frame to talk to them about, if you want to avoid this in the future, let's take your website seriously. Let's look into you
Mm-hmm.
optimizing everything, so you get more leads and conversions and phone calls and just sales. Heck,
Right.
let's just even add a digital online shop in your company to make up for the sales that you're losing, in your brick and mortar store,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right. Yeah.
So
So that was the biggest thing I've changed on these is focusing more on the sales, which it's cool that there's multiple sales coaches or people in this group, because I never talk about the sales or increasing sales with our clients. It's always like website lead or like traffic or those different things. And I never talk about sales, but our people I've talked to, that's all they're caring about, which makes sense because they're business owners just like me.
you know why that is? Because family-owned businesses in general, they're less sophisticated, so they,
Mm-hmm.
they they don't they just think sales and clients,
Right.
and they're not really. I mean, I'm being too general here, but in general, they don't see it as, oh, I need a lead and I convert the lead into a prospect, and then the prospect becomes a client and I make the sale. They're just like, sales is marketing, and sales, they just see it as the same thing. That's why they mention sales so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to know, because if you optimize your profile for family owned businesses and you start talking about leads and conversions, they're like, what the heck is that? Make sense?
Yeah, and so I'll talk about sales, but it's totally different than what Marie is talking about with hers is like increasing your sales conversions in those calls so you have the right. It's they're using the same word, but it's a different meaning to them, like kind
Yeah.
of.
Why? Because coaches and consultants, usually they all work online, and they've understood that you have leads, and you need to convert those leads, and you have that percentage, and they understand about the open rates, about their emails, and Facebook ads conversions and click-through rate. So they're a bit more sophisticated in that sense.
Hmm.
But for family owned businesses, it's they're more plain. They're more, I need sales and money comes in, and that's it.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, family owned businesses. Have you done research on LinkedIn? Do people call themselves family owned business, or is it something that?
Yes, I did research on LinkedIn, and yes, they call themselves family owned or family owned and operated.
Okay.
So those are the two that they use. And then I did research to see who's the owner and who's the manager of it.
Okay.
So that if there's managers at a family-owned business, like the title, then that's definitely a bigger company.
Got it.
And then I did find quite a few consultants that work with family-owned businesses, but I didn't see any other agencies or any like husbands and wives that work like what we do in our case. And so I think that's always a huge selling point. People love it that I work with my husband and like they have access to us like for the strategy. Like, I mean, we're having clients call us about the situation and I'm like, that's not what we do, but we're here to listen and pray and give hope to them and figure out solutions. I'm coming up with all kinds of crazy new ideas and solutions and products for clients because they need another stream of revenue or whatever right now. And they need to change how they do their business right now. And so they can take care of their employees so they can make payroll. So we don't do coaching or consulting, but we have this past couple weeks because our clients like are freaking out.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is this the same as before, but you just changed to family owned businesses, or you've actually
Yeah,
updated the sheets?
it's pretty much the same, but I just focused more on talking about sales and how they talk about
Got it.
sales in their words. And like their motivation definitely stayed the same, where they want to make a difference locally, and they really want to not be working in the business as much. They want to be more empowering their managers and their staff to make decisions so that they're like the real business owner and not like working in it. So
Okay.
that was like the deep motivation.
Got it.
Yeah.
So for example, you know, when you do the research calls now, it's maybe right now is it's a bit the wrong time to do the research. You can still do them, but
I
basically they're
know.
all gonna vent out and freak out and just, dump all this worry on you. It's like, now anything, nothing matters. It's all going to shit. It's all
Yeah.
and
It's a lot. Like emotionally, I'm like, man, I need like a bubble. Like, it's a lot to like hear what they're dealing with. And they're all being so raw, like with what's
exactly.
happening. I'm like,
So,
I'm not a pastor. I can't like, I'm not a counselor. Like, I'm not used to this.
yeah.
Let me work on your
For example,
website and Google
the,
Analytics.
the approach that you can take with these calls is being in the situation that you are in now. What would you wish you have done in order to avoid this?
That's a good question.
What do you think would have been necessary so right now you could just go through this without a breeze? And and if they ask you, like, what do you mean, is like, would you have focused more in perhaps improving your streams of income and have different streams of income? What about your website? Would ask them about that and see what they have to say about that. But basically it's pretty clear right now. Once this is over and people have gone through this, for example, here, website that converts, just change it to website that sells, and it
Yes.
will respond better to your process. Okay, what does your website need to have so it can actually sell? And you can
Hmm.
explain that to them, and not necessarily that means that you need a shopping cart and an e-commerce platform, but you can explain them about the process, about maximizing their opportunities through their website. It's just not a billboard. There's actually more to it.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it's like the website that sells is what we need to be calling kind of the package versus a website that books calls, because like a print shop, they're not trying to book calls. They want people just to order straight from their website and
exactly.
order their package. But a social media agency, like that was another one I met with, they want people to schedule the call. So I think the website that sells is what um, people are really wanting
Yeah,
and
I mean,
need.
if you talk
Yeah.
to a coach, and if you were to target me, and you say, "Do you want a website that sells?" No, I don't. I do the selling, but for
Hmm.
me, it would be a website that gets calls booked.
Right.
That would be me. But obviously, I'm not a family-owned business,
Hmm.
and vice versa. They
And I might
would.
have to play around with both of them, just see how it lands when I start marketing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People.
But so far, what you're selling, it seems to fit. The only concern I have is, what about all these family-owned businesses that on LinkedIn don't call themselves that? You would need to find a way to identify that, and see. For example, would you call yourself a family-owned business, or you just call yourself a regular business?
Yeah, I never called myself that. I call myself a local business. However, as I've talked to more people, and I was at Social Media Marketer World last week,
Yeah.
um, I met a lot of people and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're a family-owned business too." And I never called, but they were calling me that because I work with my husband.
Yeah,
What did
exactly. So
Marie Claire just say?
people tend to stop or whine when the crisis hits, but when you work smart and use crisis to offer solutions, it can boost a business. Liz, I think they would rather talk about being in business with their spouse. It's
Yes, and we're launching a podcast called Local Business Love, and it's all about working with your spouse. And so that was the other thing, but I can't search that on LinkedIn. Like, do you work with your spouse? No one's putting that in there, and I couldn't search it, so I did it as family-owned business, and I would love to have it all focused on working with the spouse, because when you work with your spouse, you're dividing up the responsibilities, and pretty much they've hired someone, but they're trying to do it all themselves, and then they just get to a point where they just don't have time to do what they need to do, and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna hire you guys to like manage everything for our marketing, not just the website.
okay.
So we get that a lot. but I can't figure out how to search for working with your spouse on LinkedIn. And I talked to a few other LinkedIn coaches because I went to all the LinkedIn stuff at the conference last week, and they couldn't come up with anything either. So they were like, yeah, you have to just do family-owned business.
For LinkedIn, if you do searches with family owned or family run and you get results, and when you do the searches, you're like, okay, out of 200 people I've seen here, and in the pages, it's like 60%, 70% are your ideal clients, stick to that. And that's your reference point to do the research on LinkedIn. Then you can focus on working with your spouse or with your podcast or other marketing efforts that you do, you know. And
then I can remove, like with advanced search, remove like restaurants, because we don't work with restaurants or realtors. So remove them, and then I can get the search more filtered. So I think that,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think that as a family and business is what it is, but like to niche even more, I love to work with the spouses that work together and take the work off their plate, so they're actually like getting results.
But I'm thinking, if it's family owned, it's probably the whole family's involved. Not always, but you know, they have the kids doing stuff there, and the spouse is also doing part of that and everything. So you know, that might include spouses. Not always, but I guess my guess is that most of them would.
Yeah, that's a good idea to look up those different people.
Yeah, and you can also, if you do search, once you find the company on LinkedIn, you can see the employees or who works for that company, and it's quite easy to spot out if their spouse is there working too. So maybe directly you cannot see who works with their spouses, but if it's a local business, you go to the company page on LinkedIn, and you do the search for all the employees, and you're gonna see that. So that could work. Okay. If family is not enough, and maybe you can just try local business. Not sure if you looked up at that.
I did research for local businesses, and yeah, people are putting that in there, local business and small business, and that's what I originally had. I just thought that was too general.
Yeah.
Because it encompasses everyone, but I don't know. I'm seeing it's kind of like they're the same. They're using the same words, whether it's a family owned or it's a local business. They're all still just talking about sales. They need more sales, and they need multiple ways to make money, not just coming into their physical location all the time.
Yeah.
And then when they see how the process is to work with us, I mean, I get compliments every week when I get on calls. People are like, wow, like it was so easy to book a call with you, and your calendar and your proposal, like it was just all like amazing experience. So I think that's what they need too, is their stuff is too clunky. It's not streamlined. So, but that's not something they're looking for and even know that they need. They don't see they need that until they are in my funnel and they see how easy it is.
Okay. For example, here, I would change this completely in terms of quality book calls. It's like I have family owned businesses get more quality book calls from their websites. I would actually change it to I had family owned businesses transform their websites into a sales machine. Maybe that's too sales machine, but they very likely have a website already. It's very likely not optimized. They just did it a couple of years back, and it's probably completely outdated. And you take their website and you turn it into something that sells. And you would even twist a knife and say, I helped you turn your website into a high sales machine, or change the word machine. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and adding a possible new stream of income, or adding you a new source of sales that you're not maximizing now. And so it's like, hey, you got your sales now, but we can add you more revenue just by optimizing and turning your website into something that will get you more sales. That's going to turn their heads. That's going to say, okay, how do we do that? Because it's really not read it. It's not I help you. You're not saying I do website design. It's no, we take your website and we convert it into something that will actually get you more sales. And you specifically say, and it's not designing a new logo or changing the colors. It's actually, there's so much more to it. And you have to think that if you work with local businesses already, you know that maybe they're even scared of it because they don't know what the steps are or what they have to do. So they're kind of lost, and you have to help them and lead them.
Right.
Okay. So here the same thing, change and shift book calls to more sales and more income, and validate that when you do the research, because I wouldn't even say more conversions. People are not that sophisticated in terms of conversions. It's just like, listen, you're leaving on the table a lot of sales just by not maximizing your website, and you're not taking out of all of the juice that you can take from your website right now. Okay, family owned, booked out website. I would change it perhaps to website that sells, or website, a high income website. I don't know, something like that that hits them across that they will get more sales or more income if they work with you. Okay. And this is okay, more of the same. We make your website work so ideal customer will call with you. So just redo this and change the focus to selling and generating income, and you're good to go. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or anything else?
No, this is good. I know this takes time to just think through each of these spots, and it's worth it spending the extra time so that you get it right when you put it on your profile.
For example, look at Marie Claire. Convert visitors into clients, or convert visitors on your website into clients with one click. Converting website that creates cash flow. For example, things like that. Those are things that click with business owners. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. You guys have any more questions? Anything else you want to talk about, or you guys are good to go? Nope. Okay. Good talking to you guys. Stay safe, and we'll talk next week. Okay. Bye-bye.